What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me. I'm not even gonna go over yesterday's games. It was awful. Bounce back day today. Let's get right into it. First game up tonight: the Bucks versus the Pistons, playing in Detroit. Real quick and easy. Bounce back game for the Bucks. Giannis is playing tonight. They got their doors blown off last game by the Cavs. Bounce back game tonight. They come in Detroit and they beat the brakes off of the Pistons. Usually we don't like trusting Milwaukee covering spreads, but it is the Pistons. Giannis is going to come out tonight and just go crazy, I believe. Actually, they play early today. They got the first game of the day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Milwaukee 8-10 against the spread on the road, 8-15 at home. They're 16-25 ATS for the season. So they're not like a great ATS team. They don't really cover spreads that much. Even when they win, they barely win games. Um, so, 12 and a half is a shit ton of points to lay. Maybe you buy them down a little bit, but I think the Bucks come in here, not revenge game, bounce back game for them. And they come in here and just blow the doors off the Pistons. If you're on the Pistons plus 12 and a half, I understand why. This ain't that spot for me, though, today. Next game up, 76ers playing the Hornets in Charlotte. Quick and easy also. So both of these teams are on a back-to-back tonight. But we know the Hornets, they're no good. They barely beat the Spurs last night without Wemby in Charlotte, beat them by 4. San Antonio did cover the spread yesterday. There was 4.5. They lost by 4. So Sixers are on a back-to-back. Hornets are on a back-to-back. Sixers are on the road. Hornets don't have to travel. But it's Sixers all day here. Sixers money line. Sixers minus the 10.5. I mean, Embiid. The Hornets don't have a big man. Like they struggle with in the big spot. So Embiid should have a huge day. Embiid could probably beat the Hornets by himself. So that's quick and easy. 76ers minus the 10.5. Next game up, the Spurs playing the Wizards. This game is a complete shit show. Hate this game all around. Two of the worst teams in the league. They both got 7 wins. Spurs are on a back-to-back. Wemby didn't play last night. He's probably going to play tonight. Wizards, you already know, bro. They gave Detroit their 4th win. They're 6-11 against the spread at home. Yeah, man, I don't know. San Antonio 9-12 against the spread on the road. This game is shit. I'm not touching this game tonight. Not betting this game. Letting you all know now. But if I had to pick a winner, I mean, probably go with the Spurs plus the 2.5 or the Wizards money line. Hate this game. Don't like it. It is what it is. Next game up, we got the Cavs playing the Hawks in Atlanta. Hawks on a back-to-back. They beat Miami last night by 1. DeJounte Murray, 2 back-to-back game winners, and one of them happened to be against my Heat. First time the Hawks beat the Heat since 2022. Last year they didn't beat us not once. The season before they didn't beat us. I think they beat us once out of the 4 times we played. They haven't beat us in so long. And then they come into Miami yesterday on Udonis Haslam's day when they retire his jersey, and they beat us in Miami without Trae Young. The Heat, they are fucking ice cold ice cubes. And, well, whatever. Hawks, you already know. I'm still going to fade them, even though they won 3 in a row now. I'm going to fade them tonight. They don't really cover spreads, even though they won their last 3 games. My money is going to be on Donovan Mitchell going into Atlanta tonight, getting it done. So give me the Cavs money line or the Cavs minus the 2.5. Next game up, we got the Raptors playing in New York against the Knicks. First time these teams are going to be seeing each other since they made the trade. Both teams have been hooping since they made the trade. Although last game, the Knicks did only win by 4 against Washington in New York. I did not like the way the Knicks looked that game. They did not look that good. I told you guys yesterday, Jalen Brunson had to score 41 points for them to beat Washington by 4. So didn't love the way they looked. And then we know Toronto on the road is not the team to bet on the road, but that was before they got before the trade, before they got RJ. So maybe they're a different team now. but they are a 50-50 team on the road, Toronto, and they're a 50-50 team at home. They are exactly 20-20 ATS for the season. So they are a complete 50-50 team on the road, um, even at home. Just a 50-50 team when it comes to betting against the spread with them. So if you're going to give 50-50 team 7.5 points tonight in a game that I think is going to be very competitive because of the trade, RJ going back to New York tonight, Manuel quickly going back to New York tonight. Remember, they were both a part of that trade. The Knicks sent them both over to Toronto, and Toronto got OG Anunoby. And OG is playing against his old team tonight. So I think this is going to be a really good game. And I think this game stays competitive and close. I think the Knicks do win on the money line. I think the Knicks ultimately win the game tonight, but I don't mind the Raptors plus the 7.5. So depending on what odds you want to roll with and what you're going to do, like if you're going to stack a ticket and just do a money line ticket, then go with the Knicks. If you want to just take better odds, do a single play or maybe a small parlay with better odds, then go with the Raptors plus the 7.5. That's what I have on that game. I don't know if this game makes it into my final play. I do think the Knicks are going to win, and I do think the Raptors will cover. I do think this game will probably end right around five-point game, 4-point game, 6-point game, maybe even 7. I think it's going to end right around there within that margin. I think the Raptors keep it close. Next game up, we got the Grizzlies playing the Bulls in Chicago. Chicago 12-10 against the spread at home, while Memphis, on the other hand, Memphis is 12-9 against the spread on the road. So Memphis plays better on the road, and Chicago plays better at home. It's a tough game, and it's kind of crazy. The Grizzlies don't have anybody over there right now, and they have been balling. Like they've been in every game. I know they lost by 15 their last game to the Timberwolves, but they were in that game the entire game until the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. The Timberwolves pulled away and ended up winning by 15. But most of that game, I say about 3/4 of that game, the Grizzlies had the lead in that game, and then the Timberwolves ended up pulling through in the fourth quarter. But Grizzlies have actually, man, they've been playing tough without John Morant, without Desmond Bane, without Marcus Smart, without Steven Adams. I mean, Jaren Jackson, Xavier Tillman, and the supporting cast have all been hooping. And the Bulls, I don't really trust them. But, good news for the Bulls is Zach LaVine is not playing tonight. And you guys know how I feel about him. I think that the Bulls play so much better without him on the floor. So this is a spot where I think, just like the Knicks game before, I think the Bulls win this game on the money line. I don't think I'm going to rush to lay the 7.5 with the Bulls just because we've seen the Grizzlies cover games without all their main players. So, I mean, I guess you can go with the Grizzlies plus the 7.5 or the Bulls money line. Again, I don't love this game. This game probably doesn't make it into my final play at all. Because I can see a spot where the Grizzlies cover this game, and I can see a spot where the Bulls punch on them. So I think the Bulls win money line. Grizzlies plus the 7.5. Take your pick. Again, if you're going to stack a ticket with all money line, try and call all the game, then go with the Bulls. If you're going to go with the smaller odds or single bet, a smaller parlay maybe, or just a single bet, and you want better odds, then take the Grizzlies plus the 7.5. Next game up, we got the best game of the night. I cannot wait to see this game. Two of my favorite new players in the league. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder Dogs. They are Thunder Dogs today. The Thunder Dogs playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota. This game is going to be really good. SGA and Anthony Edwards are two of the most explosive, exciting players of the new generation, and I think the two of them are going to be phenomenal players. They're going to be generational players. They are absolutely great. Great. They're going to be in the likes of good company when their time is all said and done. And we get to see them go at it tonight. The Timberwolves are currently number 1 in the West. The Thunder are number 2 in the West. Thunder are 2 games behind the Wolves. Both of these teams are young. They're hungry. They both play defense. They both got good offense. I mean, both of these teams are top 5 teams in the entire NBA. And they're facing off each other right now. The number 1 and number 2 team in the league facing off tonight. These two teams already played twice this season. The first time they played in Minnesota. Minnesota wins by 3. Second time they play in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City wins by 23. Game 3 back in Minnesota tonight. Game 4 will be in Oklahoma. They've been splitting these. I think they're going to end up splitting the series 2-2. Right now it's tied at 1-1. They both won at home. And we know Minnesota plays their best ball at home. That we do know. Minnesota's 10-7 against the spread at home. And then the Thunder, on the other hand, Oklahoma, where are you? OKC. So Minnesota is 10-7 against the spread at home. And on the road, Oklahoma City is 10-8 against the spread. So both of these teams are they're just so close when it comes to being against the spread. That in these spots tonight, that this is a 50-50 game, no matter how you look at it. So, the Timberwolves, they ball at home. They should get this win tonight. But if you're going to give the Thunder 3.5, I'm going to take the Thunder Dogs plus the 3.5, man. It's kind of like a must-win game for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Think about it. They beat the Timberwolves tonight. They're one game behind the Timberwolves, but now they're leading the series between the two of them, which can possibly push them up to first place in the West. So this is like a must-win game to me for the Thunder, I think. But the Timberwolves are not just going to lay down, man. This game is going to be very, very tough, and I think this line is just about where it's supposed to be. Neither one of these teams played last night. They should both be rested. But like I said, if you're going to give the Thunder 3.5, I'm going to take the Thunder plus the 3.5. I might even buy 2 points and get them at plus 5.5. But that's what I like on that. Going to be the best game of the night. Make sure you all tune in. Last game of the night, final game of the night. We got the Jazz playing the Rockets in Houston. And Houston, man, their last 5 games were on the road. They went 1 for 4 in their last 5. The only team they beat on the road was Detroit. 1 for 6, I'm sorry. They played their last 6 on the road, and they only won 1 out of the 6. They went 1 for 5 on their last road stretch. So now they're coming back home, and they are ready to hoop. We already know Houston on the road. We don't bet on them. Houston is 6-12 against the spread on the road, but at home they're a money-making team. They're 14-6 against the spread at home, one of the best cover teams in the league at home. So we know we can bet on Houston at home. And on the other hand, the Jazz are the complete opposite. The Utah Jazz, we know we could bet on them at home, and on the road, not so great. On the road, they're 10-12 against the spread. So this spot just screams Rockets. They want to win, bounce back game. They were on the road for 6 games straight, only won 1 of them, and it was against the Pistons. So I think they're ready to go back home. They're ready to catch a win. And I know the Jazz have been rolling, man. The Jazz have been balling, but they did lose their last game to OKC. We were all over the OKC, beating the Jazz in Utah. And I think this is just another spot where the Jazz come on the road now, and they got to run into the Rockets, who play defense. I don't think it's going to be easy for the Rockets. I think it's going to be a good game. The Jazz have proved that they can hoop and that they want to hoop when everybody's healthy and they're in the lineup. So I do think the Jazz can keep this game close, but they're not the best cover team on the road, and the Rockets are one of the best cover teams at home. So give me the Rockets money line. If you want to take the 2.5, take the 2.5. But that's just how I feel about the game tonight. And there you have it. There's my game. There's my picks. There's my thoughts. Take what you want from it, and let's win some money tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, follow on X, pay attention to the pinned comment, pay attention to the comments. I will be dropping any updates, any comments down there I will be dropping. So, let's win some money tonight, guys. Good luck. Tell me.